What's up?
Yeah, what was that last guy on, first of all? Whose side was he on?
You on the fence, bro. You on both sides.
That made no sense. Now I've heard it all. So what's your stance? You're a Christian, and why am I not Muslim? I mean, why am I not Christian?
Yeah, are you Muslim?
Yeah, alhamdulillah. So I'm not Muslim because I'm not missing the last revelation sent from God.
How do you know it's the last revelation sent from God?
Because I've read it, I analyzed texts, just in reality and work and everything, and in my studies, and this book is clearly from a creator that is not a man.
How do you know?
Because, like I said, first of all, it clearly says this is a revelation from the Lord of all worlds, and if Prophet Muhammad would have said anything in our name that wasn't true, we would have seized him by his right hand and cut his aorta. This is the Quran saying this, and then it says, and none of you guys would have been able to protect him from us. That's not the only thing. Aside from all of the historically accurate things that are also in the Bible that it covers, some of the scientific miracles, all of this concise, also including things that were not in the past scriptures. And it also follows the same concept of the Abrahamic religions of there's only one God. That's what they were all trying to say.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you said a whole mouthful. All right, but why? You did. Let's just start with this, okay? You said you examined these things, right? And you looked into all of this. Okay, cool. Now, what do you say to the people that examine the same things you did and say it doesn't come from God?
I said there's the part in there that says that this book is the foundation and it's clear, and some parts are ambiguous, and some people who are disbelievers will focus on the ambiguous parts, but for the believers, they'll see clearly what it says. So it's like we're looking at the same page, but we're seeing different things.
Okay, bro. I don't think you understood my question. My question is, if somebody else examines the same things you do and they say this is not from God, what makes your position more right than theirs?
Um, I I know how I went into it with an open heart, and I took my time. So I don't know if they did the same, but for me, it worked.
What if they, just assuming they did, they went with an open heart and they decided something different? They said this is not from God.
I would really have to sit down and talk with them and go through parts and be like, this isn't. Who else would say it
Well,
like
why don't you?
this?
Well, why don't you give me something objective, not something of your own opinion, something that would be like, hey, this is proof that this came from God.
Here, why? Who else could it be from? In the sense of it is a religion, and a lot of people say it came from the devil. Okay, well, why would the devil go to a place that's already worshiping idols and not worshiping Jesus for the sake of this argument, and tell them, hey, no, why don't you guys worship the same God of Abraham, only one God, and also realize that the devil is the deceptor and a true sworn enemy of yours?
Okay, so just listen to what you're saying. You're saying it can't be from the devil because they were already worshiping something other than God, which was idols, right? Now, if I give you something that is possible, now are you going to respond? If I'm going to give you something as a possible reason why he would do that, then you're going to give me a response back that would negate that, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a logically thinking person, so we're gonna have a constructive conversation.
Okay, cool. All right. So here's a possibility. Christianity was causing the majority of the world, or a good portion of the world, to leave idolatry and actually worship one God. So if Satan was having people worship idols first, and he knew that it was at risk, why not switch it to a counterfeit monotheistic God, so that he doesn't lose them to Christianity?
Okay.
That would be a possibility.
It's interesting that you say counterfeit monotheistic when Christianity has to come up with words to say it's monotheistic.
Well, we can get to that. We can get to that. We can get to that. I gave you the possibility. So now, why can't it be Satan?
A possibility, because monotheism is not three; it's one.
Yeah, bro, that's a different topic. I'm just saying. You told me to give you a possibility as to how this could be from Satan. I just gave you the possibility. So now, what's your response?
I got you, and I'm saying you just said monotheistic when Christianity isn't.
Yeah. So you understand? Look. I promise we can get to that get to that argument if you like.
Okay.
I
I'll go
don't have
with
a
it.
problem going to that topic. The only reason why I'm saying let's put it off for a second is because that's
Okay,
not the topic right now, and I don't want to
gotcha.
confuse the audience. I want to stay organized
Okay,
here. So
okay.
can you respond back as to
I
why
will.
wouldn't it be from Satan for those reasons?
I will because it wasn't. And I'm trying to say this respectfully while following along because it wasn't the. Okay, so let's just imagine there's the truth and Christianity with Jesus being in the picture of worship steered off of the truth, so God sent the correction.
What?
Yep, let it just sit in, let it marinate.
Dude, you didn't respond to what I said.
It was the correction after the mistake.
I know you believe that. We're trying to get to the proof of it. So you're saying who else could it be from? Satan is the option. You said it can't be from Satan because he caused them to leave idols to worship one God. I'm saying that still could be Satan because Satan wants to create a counterfeit religion to Christianity. So
Okay,
what's the
is
problem?
it a counter?
What's the
So
response?
why would he reference all of the Abrahamic religious prophets and past him, including Adam, and then say there's only one God, and then say the devil is your sworn enemy, aligned with everything that Abrahamic religions believe?
To give yourself
When it gets so close,
here, let me go down the list. He mentions the other prophets to give himself credibility in order to make it seem like he's God. He tells you to worship one God, which is himself, so it's part of deception. And then he tells you to curse the devil, which is just a title, not a name, so that he can make you believe that he is God himself and then be worshipped.
Oh, also remember, he says don't sin, comes up with laws.
Yeah, he doesn't care. I mean, why would Satan care if you're not doing certain sins when you're still worshiping him? All he wants is for you to worship something other than God.
Yeah, but he didn't say that. He said worship. It says worship God.
I know, but if he is claiming to be that God, is the point. If we're going into this hypothetical.
Oh, but it's not him. It's the creator of the universe who created the devil.
Yeah, you're assuming that, bro. Remember, I know you believe. I know
You
you're
asked
believing.
me if I read it.
So, Elmi, I know you believe that. Okay, but the reason why we're even in this conversation is I'm asking you for proof that that is true. So when I'm asking,
Yes.
when I'm actually presenting my argument as to like why would this be true, you can't repeat your claim and say, "Well, it's true because he is the creator of the universe." Remember, that's what you're trying to prove. You can't repeat that.
I know, and that's a funny thing with faith. That kind of comes with the whole territory of having this conversation. But I'll try my best to stay objective. So it's not likely for the devil to create a very similar story and also paint himself as the bad guy.
Why? Why is that not likely?
It's not likely because it is more likely that it is the truth.
Why? Why are you assuming that?
Okay, I mean, think about it now.
I am.
Like,
I think it's
okay,
perfectly logical. It could be from Satan. Okay, what's your refutation to that?
Okay. Oh my God. And if I could say the same thing about the Bible's newest versions and how it wasn't written when Jesus
Elmi, do you have a reason or no?
Do I have a reason? Yeah, it's linguistically like divine. Honestly, I've read it.
So okay, it's linguistically divine because Elmi on TikTok says so. That's why.
No. And I see if I start naming who I am and what I do and how I take my life seriously, it would make a little more sense. But we don't need that.
So if we knew a little bit about you, right, we would be like, oh man, this is definitely the truth, huh?
Okay, no one's gonna believe this, but I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. I can't even say it. It's literally classified. But whatever. I just take reading seriously, and I take knowledge seriously, and I'm just saying, I wouldn't gamble with my soul.
Oh, okay. So just trust you. We just trust you. We don't have it. You can't tell us the reasons why, but we should just know that you are a very important person, and that whatever decisions you make, people should follow.
No. I'm not a very important person. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I am not going to gamble with my soul, and I've taken all of the scriptures seriously, and I've analyzed and cross-referenced myself, and I've come up with the most plausible story of how this whole mess of the 3 books came to be, and this book alone at the end is the last revelation. It came from God.
And
It's
we
God's
and you
words.
know this because ...
It's the only thing that makes sense, man. I don't know what else to say.
Dude, you don't have any reasons, bro. Elmi, listen.
I mean, come
Elmi,
on.
I know in your heart you believe this, but that's fine. For your own personal decisions, there's no problem with that. But you can't
Okay.
come to a group of people and say this is true, and then when I ask you for reasons, say, well, it's because like, just bro,
Okay.
seriously, I just
Okay.
know it. I know it. You should just believe me.
So can I take the gloves off now? Because
I've been. What does that mean? Take the gloves off. Are you actually gonna bring evidence now? If that's the case,
Yes.
I've been asking you to
Yes.
do that. Yeah.
okay. First of all, Jesus walked on this earth like he was a messenger. He clearly said that there's only one true God and that it's the Father, and he prayed. So Christians, which isn't mentioned in the Bible, pray in a different experience than he did, than Abraham. They all had a submission to God's will, as Jesus did, and Prophet Muhammad is another messenger. But we don't want to talk about how there's so many inconsistencies, like Jeremiah 8:8, saying that how do we say we're holy or righteous when it's basically, and I'm paraphrasing, written by liars?
How does anything that you just said prove that the Quran is from God?
No. I'm proving that the Bible is not just corrupt, but that it is the
Oh,
corruption.
so you need the Bible in order to prove the Quran?
No.
Okay, then. So then
I
prove
don't
the
need
Quran,
Bible.
bro. Then prove the
guys
Quran.
don't
Stop.
even
Hey,
believe-
bro, stop
you
running
guys
to my
don't
Bible, bro.
believe-
Hey,
Huh?
stop running to my Bible. Prove that the Quran is from God.
Prove that the Quran is. It's literally preserved. You guys could tear
So?
all of the pages up and we'd put it back together.
Why does that mean?
Which is a promise.
Okay, fine. Why does that mean it's from God?
Okay. How many books is the Bible made of, and how many books is the Quran?
Why do
It's
you keep running
just
to
letting
my?
you know. I'm just
Hold on,
letting you
hold
know
on, bro.
how
Hold on.
scattered- how
Hey,
scattered
Elmi,
You don't
listen.
understand the comparison I'm
Elmi,
making
slow
here.
down, bro, slow down. Why do you need to go to my Bible to prove that your book is from God? Why does that have to happen? What if I wasn't a Christian? What would you say?
I would still say that other religions had to put all of this text into all of these books, but yet the Quran covers their stories and more in a concise.
Okay,
book,
what if I'm a
beautifully
Norse
worded.
pagan? What story of mine is in the Quran?
What?
What if I was a Norse pagan? What story of mine is in the Quran?
Norse pagan? What story of yours is in the Quran? You're just included with the idol worshippers.
Okay, so what stories from my idol worship would be in there?
Well, see, this is the logic that steers everyone away from the truth.
Okay, bro. No, this is the logic that is showing that you don't really have any grounds to believe that
No, you
you
don't want to
actually
talk
believe
about
in
the
God.
Bible.
Bro, I was talking about the Quran. That's why
But you're
you're
asking me why I'm not
making a
Christian.
claim. You're making
You're
a
asking me why not Christian.
That's
and you don't
not
want to talk
that's
about
not
the
what
Bible?
this conversation naturally led to you making the claims that this is from God. And all I did was ask you, can you give me evidence as to how? And we've been dancing around for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Hold on, Elmi. Hold on. We've been dancing around for about 10 minutes. You don't have any real evidence that it's from God. And the only way that you can actually feel like you're proving something is by running to the Bible.
Whoa. I could ask you the same thing. How do you know it's from God? And you wouldn't know what to say.
How do you know that?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, exactly. So you want to run from this. You want to run from it. I'll gladly answer your question, but not until you answer mine. Like, how do you know this is from God?
What? How do I know it's from God?
What?
Okay, so
What
I
a
have faith.
stupid
How about
question. Why would you ask if this is from God? I can't believe this. I can't believe that you would actually question if it's from God. Yeah, bro. How do I know it's from God? Can you answer it? Yes or no?
Yeah, man.
Okay, good. Then answer it. How do we know it's from God?
You wouldn't understand this because unlike you, I've read it. So don't tell me you read it. Relax.
I actually have. I own 3 Qurans.
I knew you would say that. Dude, you did not read it.
I own 3 Qurans, bro.
There's only one.
I own 3 copies of the Quran.
Why? When you haven't read a single one, why would you buy the other 2?
Okay, Elmi. All right, cool. Did you read the Bible?
Yes.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. I knew you would say that. I
scriptures
knew
for
you
you.
would say that, bro. I knew you would say that, bro. Okay, good. Now, why is the Quran from God?
Oh my goodness. Because it says it's from God. That's what I need to know.
Yeah, the Book of
There's no
Mormon.
other
The Book of
There's no
Mormon.
other book.
The Book
There's
of
no other
Mormon
book
also
that's
says
saying
that.
it's the word of
Hey,
God, by the way.
hey. The Book of Mormon also says it's from God. Do you believe that too?
No.
Why? It says it's from God.
First of all, I didn't even know it says that because this says it's the seal of the prophets and it's done. Abraham, Moses, all of them, Jesus, Muhammad, it's over with.
Yeah, the
You missed
Mormons.
this
The
train,
Mormons have a similar story.
you're
They have a prophet who was in a cave and had an encounter and got some golden tablets given to him, and they have the Book of Mormon. Now, why wouldn't you believe them? Why would you deny them as having the affirmation from God? And by the way, they
Book of
worship
Mormon, I haven't
multiple
done my
gods.
due diligence there, but I doubt it's worth my time.
Why? How do you know? Wait, hold on. How do you know? How do you know?
How do I know what?
It's not worth your time. How do you know? If you haven't done it, how do you know?
So wait, what answer? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for how you know that the Quran is from God. And all you've been doing, Elmi, all you've been doing is just been giving me all you.
How about that? I believe.
Okay, yes, it is exactly. Thank you very much. So I want everybody to see here that Muslims don't really know why they believe this. They're going off of. Hold on, Elmi, hold on. They're going off of. They're going off of their feelings and their emotions. They're not going off of facts or evidence. Thank you for showing that.
With logic, and there's a lot of
Okay, what's the
lot?
What's the evidence? Go ahead. What's the evidence, Elmi?
Can you just mute me after saying that?
No, Mons, don't mute him. What's the evidence?
Okay, the evidence is, first of all, it says it's from God. It speaks in a way that it's from God. It's claiming it's the word of God, and all these stories are more accurate than anything mentioned in the Bible, which is so cryptic.
What? So what? You need the Bible then in order to know that this is true.
No, the Bible's written by men, bro.
So then why do you keep going to the Bible when you bring evidence?
Why do you keep going to the Bible?
I'm not.
Faith?
I keep asking you. I keep asking you why this book is from God, and you're the one that keeps running to the Bible, bro.
But you won't accept the word faith for some reason. You're like,
what does faith mean, bro?
No, we believe it because we use our eyes and our hearts.
Yeah. So is faith? You know, there's a difference between faith and blind faith, right?
Yep, this ain't blind faith.
Oh, okay, so how is it not blind faith?
I'm trying to tell you, but it doesn't get there because your heart is like sealed.
Oh, okay.
You just won't
consider
that God could have came with the correction to the mistakes that were made.
How do you know I didn't consider it?
Of the Bible.
How do you know I didn't consider it?
Bro, if you considered it, you wouldn't have came here and waste your time. The little time you have in this world.
How do you know that, bro? Dude, Elmi, here's the thing. Here, real quick. I want you to hear me out. I want you to hear me out. I want you to hear me. Hey, I want you to hear me out, and I'll give you time to respond. But Elmi, see, all you're doing right now, and this is what you've been doing this whole conversation, is you've been leading to prove your position off of just your opinions and your assumptions. You're not actually bringing any evidence, bro.
You control this whole thing because you're the host, right? And it's like you could say whatever you want, and you'll answer my question when I answer your question. But there's no answer except faith.
So blind faith. So faith without evidence.
No. The evidence I've mentioned is not enough for you.
The evidence you mentioned were just your opinions, bro.
Dude, my opinions, but now I have to say my opinion is not like just a regular old schmegular opinion. I've actually spent a lot of time with this, and I've considered Christianity.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So we're right back to where we started before on how important you are as a person, but you can't tell us why. But for some reason, we're supposed to just trust your opinion.
No. Why don't you go ahead and, without saying, see, Muslims have blind faith, tell me how you can prove that the Bible is real or authentic or from God.
Okay, so are you conceding you don't have any evidence?
No, I'm not. It's just not gonna get anywhere without you trying to say.
Well,
I said
here,
something I didn't say.
let's try this. Maybe we can proceed like this. So, do you understand what the difference between subjective and objective is? Do you understand the
Yeah.
difference between the two? Okay. So everything you presented today has been subjective, meaning that it's relying on an opinion or some sort of point of view that is not going to be it's not going to be absolute all the way through.
Oh,
Okay.
actually, now that you just defined that with me and I thought about it, there are numerous miracles that should not have been known to somebody at that time that is mentioned in the Quran very beautifully and very concise,
Okay.
if I may add.
All right.
So that adds to the storytelling along the way.
So are you saying that's evidence of it being from God?
Enough for me.
I'm not asking enough for you. I'm talking about something objective
yeah,
that
it is.
everyone
It
would
is.
need to accept.
Yes,
Okay.
it's
I don't
impossible.
think everybody would agree with you, bro. Why couldn't
Well,
Satan?
you know what?
Here,
They're
how about
blind,
this?
and I don't
Hold on,
blind, and not
Elmi,
everyone's gonna get
Elmi,
into heaven, bro.
Elmi, bro, Elmi, bro. You're struggling, man. Relax. It's okay.
I'm really not. I've been on these lives cooking people all day, and I'm a
Yeah,
little
and
restless. But
and this is the first one you ran into that you're having trouble. So no worries, bro. Look, listen, look.
oh my god.
When it comes to those miracles, why couldn't like the information that Muhammad knew that a 7th century Arab man wouldn't have known, right? Why couldn't Satan pass that information along?
Why couldn't have Satan have said it? Because we already talked about how this discredits Satan, shows who he really is better than the Bible. You guys think he's an
I
angel?
already gave you a response to that, bro. Yeah, it's
You
if
guys
it's
think
all
he's an
if
angel?
he's trying to deceive you into thinking he's God, it would make perfect sense why he would say all those things. Now, why
Vice
couldn't
versa,
Satan pass
vice
this
versa.
information
You
down?
think he's an angel?
Okay, so what? What is it? What is
Angels
it?
are
That
not
has nothing to do with
supposed
what I'm
defy
asking.
God.
Listen to what I'm asking, Elmi. Why couldn't Satan pass down this information to Muhammad?
First of all, angels are not supposed to defy God. Why do you guys think he's a fallen angel?
According to who?
According to you.
That's not true. Angels can defy God. Now you're saying angels
what's
can't.
the
According
point
to
of
who?
being an angel?
Elmi, where do you get the standard that angels? How do you know that angels cannot defy God?
Okay, use your brain, bro. Angels.
Okay, Jews and Christians believe angels can defy God. You believe they can't. Where do you get that from? Why are you more right than Jews and Christians?
Well, okay. Angels, do you guys believe they have free will? You probably do.
Yes. So do Jews. Yes.
Okay, so if you're misinformed right now, you'd be laughing now, but really, in reality, the joke's on you, especially on Judgment Day.
Okay, bro. Good. I can say the same thing. Now, where do you get the? Why are you right that angels cannot defy God? Where do you get that from? That makes you right.
Obviously, the Quran.
Okay. Now, this conversation has been, how do you know the Quran is from God? So you still are not proving anything by saying that.
Okay.
Because the Quran is in question.
So then that makes more sense than an angel that God created.
By what standard?
Who's supposed to be pure.
By what standard? Does it make more sense?
By the standards of what an angel is. Like, think about it.
How do you know what an angel is?
So, wait, see, all of these dumb questions are what's going to waste your time.
Elmi, look, at the end of the day,
No, it will be
Elmi, listen, let me give you some advice, okay? Let me give you some advice. If you're going to do dawah and you're actually going to objectively prove your religion, you need to get off of the soapbox. Like you think that giving your 2 cents.
Is there anything I could say to actually make you consider?
If you actually bring objective evidence that it can only be from God, yes.
And do you think there is objective evidence?
No, I don't.
So exactly, there's nothing I could have done.
That doesn't mean I'm right. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean I'm right. I've just been doing this a long time, and I've talked to thousands of Muslims, and I don't think there is any objective evidence. And I've studied the religion. I've read the Quran.
Okay.
I've studied your faith. It's not possible. For example, I could even go to something super. I could even go something super simple, right? Like your God being one person, not Trinity, is not even possible. He cannot be the creator of the world and be one person.
Oh God.
You want me to prove it?
Yeah, try to.
Okay, cool. So you believe that Allah is attribute, he has an attribute of being the most loving, correct?
This argument, yeah. Who did he love before he created anything?
Yeah, but is he eternally the most loving?
Oh goodness, you guys play around with that word like eternally begotten. Okay, fine.
Is he eternally the most loving?
God has all of his attributes, despite, like, he's a judge, despite if there's any free will beings to judge, which is why we were created. He was the judge before he created us.
So is that a yes, he had it eternally?
Yes, he's always been God.
Okay, so he's been the most loving even before creation, correct?
Yeah.
So who was he loving before creation?
Himself, whatever he wants to.
Whatever he wants. What options does he have other than himself?
God knows. We don't know. Like, just limit where yourself where you're supposed to be limited. But can we also just talk about one thing? I want to say God doesn't change.
Wait, why are you changing? Wait, hold on. Why are you changing the topic?
Because
who was he? You
no,
say God doesn't change?
That doesn't refute God's oneness. But if I say one thing and you answer it, then I'm gonna show how Christianity falls apart, or at least the triune God.
Well, you said this argument was dumb, so you still haven't responded. You want to change, you want to run from the argument, but this argument is so dumb.
No, that's beyond.
So who
us.
was he? Wait, but who was he loving before creation? What are the possibilities?
Himself.
Okay, himself. Good. Now, do you believe, for example, the Quran teaches to give to charity, give to the poor, right? That's a form of love, correct?
That's a form of
love, correct?
Let me think about that. That's a form of love to God. Like, you're doing it not because
that's fine. It doesn't matter what it is. A form of love, correct?
Sure.
Okay, good. Can Allah express all forms of love without creation?
All forms of love
without creation. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, you're asking probably the wrong person, because I believe God can do.
No, I'm asking the right person, because remember, it's classified. You can't tell us, but you're such an important person. You've studied this stuff, and people follow whatever you choose. Remember when you were giving yourself credibility this way? I'm asking the right person.
That's.
Can he express all forms of love without creation?
If he wants, yes.
Okay, to who?
To whoever, whatever.
Okay, what do you mean whatever? Like, give me an example. Give me a possibility.
Space.
He can love space?
The angels, sure.
The angels are creation. I said before creation.
Himself, his throne.
Yeah, himself is not loving someone else. That's not every form of love.
Okay, and we don't know what existed before us.
Right. Only God, right?
No, I'm saying we don't know if there was another entity before us, which we actually do.
Another entity? Like
yeah.
what? Another what? Is it another creation or another God?
Yeah, so despite what you think, Satan was not an angel and he was a jinn.
Is he a creation?
What?
Is he a creation?
Yeah, he's a creation.
Okay, so before all creations, even before that, can he express all forms of love before creation?
Wait, does this make you feel better about worshiping a man?
Elmi, are you struggling to answer this? I thought this argument was dumb.
No,
Elmi, listen, the panic is real right now. I understand you can't answer this question, but remember how you were making fun of this argument, how it's so dumb? Remember that? If it's so dumb, you can just answer the questions. Before all creation, can he express all forms of love without creation?
Yes.
Okay, how?
We can't fathom it. We don't know.
You said yes as if you said yes as if you have an answer, but then you said I don't know. But then you said I don't know. So you don't know. You don't know if he's expressing all forms of love before creation.
Okay. Can we put a pin in this for just 2 seconds so I can say something?
No, we're staying right here.
Exactly.
What all can he express?
The triune God is false, and I can say something.
See you later, Elmi. See you later. Thank you for the YouTube conversation. This will be a good video for me. Thank you. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, of course he can express all forms of love before creation. Okay, yeah. How? We don't know. And Christianity is dumb. Ah! That's basically what he did. Oh, this is crazy, dude. Oh my gosh, man.